Good morning, and thank you for coming. Today, we would like to talk to you about the well-being and mental health of young people and the small changes we could make. Ryan will now begin.
In our school, well-being and mental health is regularly talked about, and that's a great thing. We all have mental health, and it's good to discuss it. But we feel not enough action has been taken. Did you know in schools across Wales, it is estimated that 3 children and young people in every classroom, or 1 in 8 overall, has a diagnosable mental health condition, and I want to know what causes them and what causes poor mental health. Many people agree that children and young people should have and live stress-free lives, but I don't see how that's possible with things such as unnecessary exams, extra homeworks, and not enough support for families living in poverty. Do you know that Wales has the highest level of poverty in the UK? Living without food and in poverty causes stress for families and for children. It also affects how children can learn and concentrate in school. We need this to change. We all need to work together to reduce poverty and other pressures on children. So what are you going to do about it?
As a younger child, I was often misunderstood and therefore misbehaved during class. Adults in school did not seem to understand what was going on. They didn't understand my thought process. They did not realise that my behaviour was a form of communication, my way of speaking almost. Can you imagine how hard that was? I ended up being told off by my teacher, and I found it really hard to make new friends. I would get angry and sometimes aggressive over little things, snapping at people and scaring my younger siblings accidentally. My mental health was not in a good place. Fortunately, I found a person who could help. They set sessions for me. These sessions were for just the 2 of us, and it helped me overcome my struggles. At the same time, we looked into what the behaviour was communicating. This adult, alongside my wonderful mum, I promise she didn't tell me to say that, helped me to find some answers. I was given a diagnosis of ASD, or autism spectrum disorder. Talking from my experience, I believe that effective care for well-being and mental health should be available for every child in Wales. I know how it feels to have bad mental health and not have anyone do anything about it. Others shouldn't have to suffer from it. A quote from the book, "The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse" says, "Isn't it odd? We can only see our outsides, but nearly everything happens on the inside." To help mental health, adults need to think about what's happening on the inside, not on the outside.
To make sure the needs of all children are met is a huge challenge. We think that there are some small changes that could really help. We feel that all schools and all members of communities should have an understanding of mental health and trauma. They should have training even before they start working in schools. We ask that universities and colleges teach students about mental health. This understanding will help all children, not just children who have had trauma. All schools need adults available to help with mental health. We need adults from the school of our community who we can say anything to and who really listen when we talk. We want adults across Wales to come together to talk about the issues that affect our mental health, such as poverty. If you are a part of a community council, we want you to raise these causes at your meetings, please. An important part of school is the transition between primary and secondary, and that is why we think that whatever is put into primary schools to help us feel safe and listened to must be available when we go to secondary schools. We believe that our well-being and who we are is more important than our test and exam results. We want you to believe that too. So, you have a choice. We can either sit back and carry on as normal, leaving mental health to decline, or we can stop and start to care about young people's mental health and well-being. We are asking that all schools have a place that you can go to in the middle of a lesson or during the day if you are feeling stressed or anxious. Pupils shouldn't have to ask to go to these places and should be able to go without permission, as some children just won't ask. This can only be done if the adults in the schools take the time to really know the children and trust them. We are asking that there are mental health counsellors in all schools. We are also asking for all schools to have mental health and well-being as the most important part. Let's have a show of hands. Raise your hand if you want to let mental health continue to decline. Okay, now raise your hand for standing up and doing something about it. As you all seem to think we need to change how we are dealing with mental health in schools, why haven't we? We hope you will take on board our suggestions. Thank you for listening.